Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vakisha, aka A Relatable Mama, and I do videos on all things motherhood and lifestyle. So let's get into it. So today's video is going to be over the topic of breastfeeding. I have 5 kiddos. One of them is 11 months old, and we are deep into our breastfeeding journey. I wanted to really go over the top 10 things that I wish I knew about breastfeeding. But I decided I want to break it into 2 different videos. I'm going to do the first 5 things, and this is going to be over tips and things that I wish I knew going into breastfeeding, like starting from the hospital. So the first thing that I want to go over is the fact that breastfeeding is not easy. It doesn't matter what you see on social media. It doesn't matter what the next mama tells you. Everybody's journey is their journey. But I will say, for most, I would probably even gamble at about 98 to 99% of mamas will tell you that breastfeeding is not easy, even if it looks easy. You'll go on my Instagram, in fact, you'll see different posts about breastfeeding, and it may look easy, but I promise you it's not. And if you watch my vlogs and some of my postpartum updates, no, breastfeeding is not easy, but I do it just because that's what I find best for me and my family. I feel like if you go into it knowing that it's not going to be an easy process, but it will be worth it, then it's easier to get through the tough times. Even if it starts out easy, doesn't mean it's going to stay easy. So what I mean by that is, it may not be something that's hard the entire time. It may be something that starts off easy, then gets hard, and then gets easy again, or vice versa. It may be something that starts off really hard and then gets easy. It could be something that's easy with one baby and not so easy with the other. It just really changes. You cannot base your experience with one child over another, or from another mama's experience to yours. The second thing that I wish I knew going into breastfeeding is that you can actually prepare for breastfeeding before baby is even here. At about 34 to 35 weeks pregnant, anytime I would get in the shower, I would take a washcloth and I would just gently rub my nipples. You don't want to rub too hard because this causes stimulation and can cause contractions, so you don't want to, go too hard at that, but just gently, massaging the nipple with a washcloth, and that's roughness, and it starts to toughen. That sounds really bad when it comes to the nipple, but it starts to prepare the nipple for baby to latch. And I found personally that it was easier for me to accept that latch in those first 2 weeks. The third thing that I wish I knew going into it, which is a big thing, and I don't know how normal it is for that information to be given now. I did start breastfeeding 13 years ago. My oldest is 13. But your milk doesn't come in right away. And this is this was what was like super confusing for me. So my breast has started to leak colostrum while I was pregnant. When I had my baby, nobody informed me until I had her that your milk does not actually come in. You have colostrum that is there for baby to eat on, but your actual hind milk, the milk that is rich with fats and things like that, does not come in for anywhere from 3 to 7 days, just depending. Everybody is different. So for me, around day 3 or 4 after having baby is when milk comes in, and your baby can suffice off of that colostrum. When baby is born, baby's tummy is really little, and so on top of knowing that the milk doesn't come in, still latch baby, still bring baby to the breast, because baby is getting colostrum, and that will suffice until your milk comes in. Now, if you have other medical things that are going on with your little one, you may have to supplement, and okay, that goes into number 4 for me. And y'all, I did not know this until baby number 4. After baby number 4, not even when baby number 4 was born. When your milk doesn't come in, and baby, let's say like for my baby had shoulder dystocia. My second baby has shoulder dystocia. and she was bruised from head to toe, and that caused issues with nursing. So she did not want to latch. She did not, my colostrum was not even an option for her other than taking it out of a syringe. So an option, if you find yourself in that predicament, is human breast milk. Game changer. Okay, now baby number 5, Coco, for me, actually did have human breast milk because 2 of my babies, my second baby actually and my 5th baby, both had both my second and my 5th baby had a condition where our blood types did not match, and it caused some low blood sugars and things like that. My milk hadn't come in. They were a little weak. I was able to pump my colostrum to feed, but that wasn't a whole lot. I had a C-section, so even getting up and down to the NICU, because sugars were so low, they did end up in the NICU, both of them. And, you know, having a C-section and getting up and down, it was just a lot. So I opted for my baby to receive, my 5th baby to receive human breast milk. It's tested. There's a milk bank where women can donate. Wish I knew about that, because in all of my babies I had an oversupply. What you can do is you can sign up at the milk bank. Here in Texas, it's called the Human Milk Bank of North Texas. They pay for you to send your sample in. They pay for you to have blood tests. They go through, the milk goes through a rigorous process to make sure that it is safe for babies. They even go as far as testing the fat level, because for preemies, they need a different concentration of fat in their milk, in their breast milk, in order to thrive. So with that said, it's super safe. It's a very safe option. So I wish I knew about that. If I had known about that when I had my first, second, and third baby, my breastfeeding journeys would have lasted a lot longer, because when I had medical issues and I had to stop breastfeeding for a little while, I would have switched over to human milk instead of formula, and then I would have been able to transition back into me breastfeeding. But that's another story for another day. But yes, number 4, human milk, human breast milk. So if you don't know much about it, please take the time to research it. If you're watching this, you're probably on your breastfeeding journey or getting ready to go into it. If you are, congratulations. I'm super excited for you. I'm definitely one of those women where motherhood is just it. It's lit. It is, and I love it. I love breastfeeding, although it's really hard sometimes. I really do love it. I really do love the bond that it brings. So having the education behind it in order to have a successful journey is really important to me. So yes, human breast milk, look it up. The 5th thing that I wish I knew going into breastfeeding is pumping is not for everyone. Just like exclusively latching is not for everyone. For me, when I went into my breastfeeding journeys for babies 1 through 3, I didn't even consider the fact that I could exclusively latch my baby. I automatically thought that I need to pump. This is, you know, what a working mama does. At that time, I didn't even realize that you shouldn't even pump for the first at least few weeks. I'm not for sure on that information. I know minimum is first 2 weeks, just like not introducing your baby to a pacifier for the first 2 weeks if you're going to breastfeed, so that there's no nipple confusion. Although I will say with Coco, she went to the NICU, and because of her medical conditions, she did have to take her human breast milk out of a bottle. She didn't have any nipple confusion. Now she will not take a pacifier. Okay, she toyed with the idea in the first few months, every now and then. Now, child, the pacifiers are in her toy bin as toys, and she's just not interested. But, you know, I started pumping right away, and I got very little milk. I used the electric pump. I didn't know much about the manual pump. I was just very uneducated, which is why it was important for me to make this video, and it's important for me to make the next video that I'm going to make on it. on the subject, but just very uneducated, and pumping is not for everyone. Pumping was not for me. I felt like it took away from my supply. I can't explain in what way, but when I use an electric pump, I just don't get much of anything. Now that I would consider myself a pro at breastfeeding, I probably would get more, but as a beginner, you know, as a first-time breastfeeder, I didn't know what I was doing. And unfortunately, in the Black community, we're undereducated in the subject. So everything that I found out on my own, honey. My mom, my grandmother, they did not breastfeed. I believe my mom attempted to breastfeed. She was a young mama, got frustrated very early on, and decided that was a no-go for her. So, you know, I didn't have a lot of support, and it showed. It showed in my journey, and I was definitely that mama, like, you know, breastfeeding is not really just for me. Even though I attempted every baby, I just was like, it's not really for me until my fourth baby, because between my third baby and my fourth baby, I had learned so much and educated myself so much that my fourth was a huge success, and now my fifth, huge success. So those are my 5 tips and things that I wish I knew when I first started breastfeeding. I will have the second video to follow in a few weeks. So if you are new here, thank you for taking the time to view this video. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any questions, if you have anything to add for other mamas who may be watching this video, please feel free to drop all of that information down below. Follow me on Instagram. I have many women who DM me on my Instagram regarding this subject, and I love having the conversations. I love being somewhat of a resource and helping wherever I can. So thank you for watching. If you are a subscriber that has been with me this whole time, you already know how I feel. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like and share button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.